Ke nna Motshabi Moloi, moradi wa Albertina, Mama Chona le Joseph Mbutana Moloi. Ke le lekgolokwe le hlaba kotswana, le hlaba kgoho ka lemao ka sebonong, le hlaba le isa kgorong ha makgwakgwane. Makgwakgwane a eja a e halala, a re kgutla hape o e eketsa, motho wa wetse.
Welcome to the Journey with Mpho podcast, a sacred space for healing, love, and rediscovering your life purpose. Introducing your host, Mpho.
Let's start off with a mic check. I'm doing one of the things that is my biggest pet peeve, which is recording in the afternoon. I did get a nap, but I prefer to record in the mornings when my stomach is empty and I feel like my head is far more clearer. But we are going to make this work. I have a feeling that this is going to be yet another good episode. We're skeptical to use the word phenomenal, so we'll stick with good for now and then do a check-in at the end and say, that was pretty phenomenal. Okay, the mic sounds good. I love all of my settings, so let's go ahead and get started. Hello, Journey with Mpho friends and family. Today's episode content was requested by podcast management as well as my emotional support team. Today we're talking about manners with regards to the issues the show has been navigating in terms of scheduling and interviewing guests. My emotional support team requested that I discuss this as a way of release as well as bringing awareness to the importance of respect. Partially related to manners is the subject of Patreon. Management wanted for me to give an in-depth explanation of what Patreon is, how it works, and what are the benefits of signing up for the membership tiers we offer. Finally, we'll wrap up the episode by discussing a feedback survey I have included in the episode notes. This show is titled Journey with Mpho. So it's not just about me. It is also about you, my friends and family. I'd really love to hear your thoughts and continue this journey in a way that feels truly inclusive of what is valuable to you. So, let's get started. Okay, so the first item on our agenda today is manners. This podcast journey is one of the few things in my life that I do not do for money. I love to speak with people, learn about their life stories, motivations, challenges, and all. Hence, guests are invited onto the show rather than requested to sign up. This helps ensure that the intentions for the conversations are pure, that is, not driven by the successes or popularity status of the guest. Occasionally, the show receives requests from prominent individuals. However, if the individual's personality does not align with our message, then we seldom respond to those requests. If you have been tuning in since the beginning of the show, then you will recall me stating several times that this show is the work of my ancestors. Hence, the clan opening by my mother at the start of each episode and the closing of each episode by giving gratitude to the work my ancestors are doing through me. The reason we are having this discussion, as requested by both management and my emotional support team, is that a number of potential guests have been extremely unprofessional, lacking common courtesy, and disregarding the energy I invest in this show. Now, you may ask yourself, what kind of energy does it take to host a podcast show such as this? Well, for the purpose of explaining this agenda, let's use guest A as an example. So usually, this is how the process for guest A to come onto the show would work. My guidance system aligns us with guest A, so we send them an invite. If they accept the invite, we schedule a 1-hour pre-episode recording brainstorming conversation with guest A. During this conversation, I take notes which I later use to create conversation points for the recording session. To enrich the conversation experience further, I explore all the relevant content the guest has. This may include social media and business ventures. Creating conversation points for a recording session generally takes me about 4 to 6 hours. Once the episode has been recorded, I do an initial listen without editing, no music additions, nothing. I call this creating the golden thread, aka the storyline. After the initial listen, I spend about 3 hours making edits and adding music. In the last step, I spend about 2 hours creating the audiogram, cover art, social media captions, and emailing guest A this information. So the preparation time for each guest episode is about 14 hours. Yes, now this is a great time to recognize the obsessive compulsive disorder in me disguised as perfectionism. Seriously though, guys, I am passionate about this journey. Each step of the process gives me goosebumps. I recognize the trust, courage, and vulnerability it takes to be a guest on the show. I honor it and take it on as a responsibility to put my best foot forward. Hence, you can imagine why I have an unfavorable reaction to potential guests taking this process and energy for granted. I understand that life can get hectic and things happen. This discussion is not about those who we've had legitimate scheduling conflicts with. It is about the individuals who request to be on the show rather than being invited as per the norm and then cause hiccups. Furthermore, when hiccups with them arise, I cannot help but feel like it's my ancestors reinforcing the importance of being in the same energy frequency and vibration with guests, aka alignment. Because sometimes I felt like, although this guest is requesting to be on here, guidance is not aligning me in terms of time, scheduling, and ability to create content for the episode. And so sometimes I ignore that sign and I'm like, okay, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. And the more I push against that resistance, the more I feel like there are blocks and I should have just taken the initial sign from the universe saying, okay, no, don't accept the request. Now, what I hope you take away from this conversation is the importance of manners, common courtesy, and professionalism, especially when dealing with the people we consider friends and family. I sometimes cannot help but think this is where the deeper issue lies. We often talk about supporting the passions and entrepreneurial adventures of our friends and family, but often lack the action to do this. We will gladly talk about and advertise large businesses on social media, but we can hardly do the same for someone we personally know. Furthermore, when someone includes you in their passion-driven work, show respect for their art, creative processes, and time by exhibiting behaviors aligned with showing respect. I am aware that we live in a world driven by money, and the reality is fewer and fewer people are willing to invest their time in non-monetarily rewarding activities. Which brings us to the conversation regarding Patreon. So to gradually shift our conversation into Patreon, let's get some music going. So, as a result of this being a passion-driven journey, I am seldom concerned about making money from it. However, management is aware of how much money I invest in it. Hence, they have requested that I at least start prioritizing this topic with you. In the previous episode, I briefly mentioned how you can support this journey and came to the realization that not many people know what becoming a Patreon member means. Hence, we have decided to take the time to detail the concept, workings, and benefits of Patreon. The following information I'm about to share is available on the website patreon.com. Now, this is not some paid advertising, just me talking about Patreon. So, what is Patreon? In short, it is a service that connects content creators, nonprofit organizations with supporters for the purpose of providing access to funds that can further the mission of the creators or the nonprofit organizations. On Patreon, fans can become active participants in the work they love by signing up to a monthly membership that provides them with special benefits. These benefits can include access to exclusive content, community, and insight into a creator's creative process. In exchange for this membership, creators get the freedom to do their best work and the stability they need to build an independent creative career. Some highlighted benefits for being a creator using Patreon are: 1. Developing a reoccurring income stream. This stops me, as the content creator, from rolling the dice of ad revenue and per stream payouts. I can get reoccurring income through monthly payments from you as patrons. 2. Take back creative control. Create what I want and what you guys love. I don't have to conform to the popular taste or the constraints of ad-based monetization models. 3, which is the final point, build a direct, meaningful connection with you, the audience. This means no ads, no trolls, no algorithms. Enjoy direct access and deeper conversations with the people who matter the most. Now, in the last episode, I also promised that I would take the time to review the various tiers offered by the Journey with Mpho Patreon page. And I have to say, I am excited with the realistic offerings available. Plus, I polished up the naming of each tier, so without spilling all the beans, because I want you to go explore our Patreon page, here's some of the benefits you can look forward to by becoming a Patreon member. We're looking at things like personalized shoutouts, the regular promotion of your content and or business adventures on the show, one-to-one phone calls with me every 2 months, distance Reiki sessions every 2 months. So go check it out. Please visit www.patreon.com/journeywithmpho. And Patreon is spelled P for Papa, A for Alpha, T for Tango, R for Romeo, E for Echo, O for Oscar, N for November. Yes, I know the phonetic alphabet. So you do know that we put this link in the episode notes just in case you missed it. So go click on it from there. Go check out our Patreon page. Finally, we are still intent on improving the show and its future offerings. Hence, we need your help determining what's valuable to you. I've put together a 10-minute survey for you to share your thoughts and answer a few multiple choice questions. By filling out the survey, you would truly help me narrow in my focus on continuing to offer content that you find purposeful and enriching. The survey link is included in the episode notes, and thank you in advance for taking the time to share your feedback. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and to using those thoughts to improve the show for all of us. Since we spent a great deal of time talking about support, Patreon, and feedback, we thought it appropriate to close up the episode by giving a heartfelt shout out to our current Patreon members. First up is Zarki Omar, the first guest ever to be featured on the show, first Patreon member of the Generosity tier, and ultimate good friend. Zarki is still performing poetry and winning titles for it. His content is under the business name Volcanic Voices. He recently published a poetry book titled Love, Lost and Found, a poetic journey through love and heartbreak. This phenomenal work of art is available on Amazon, but worry not, because all the relevant links are in the episode notes. Our second Patreon member is Dr. Chris of the Mind Body Energy Medicine. Dr. Lipat was the first guest for this season. She recently launched a new elixir called Aura Luminescence, available for purchase via her website. Check out the episode notes. Last but not least, the last Patreon member of the Vitality Magic tier is actually a family member and someone who prefers to be a little more on the anonymous side of support. This is a personalized yet non-specific shout out to you. Thank you for always being there, supporting me, and challenging me to be the best version of myself. Okay, friends and family, you have made it to the end of this very short episode. Thank you for giving me the space and having the patience for me to air out and straighten out some things. Remember, this was content requested by both podcast management and my emotional support team. I thank you all so much and appreciate you for encouraging me to always pursue my dreams and to be the best version of myself. JWM family, I love you guys so much, and like I always say, until next time, Maholokwe, Yeutaba, Ribuile. Aloha.